1966, Shelby American planned to produce the Shelby GT 500. They manufactured 100 production cars, including only one convertible.
Carroll Shelby had built just the one, and it was his own personal car and his own personal collection until Ford came in and took it away.
Only 6 months in, Ford terminated the operation due to weak sales, and all prototypes were to be destroyed. But somehow the convertible survived. The car resurfaced in a 1976 Chicago Tribune ad. One owner suspected its origins as a '67 prototype, but was unable to prove it. The car fell into dilapidation until 2001, when Greg Grams bought it at an auction for $40,000. In 2003, Carroll Shelby sent a letter of authentication. He wrote, "I am surprised that this vehicle still exists. As per Ford Motor Company policy, all prototype vehicles were to be destroyed." With his letter, Bryan Grams was now in possession of one of the rarest cars in the world. Back at Volo, Bryan is preparing to visit the Styles collection in Hollywood, Florida, where he will be reunited with the $1.4 million Shelby.
This guy's got one-of-a-kind cars. He's got expensive taste. And Bryan's always looking for great cars, one-offs, whether they're for sale or for display for the museum.
The Grams brothers arrived in South Florida and are on their way to see the rarest production car in the world, a 1967 Shelby GT 500 convertible. They track the car to Bryan Styles and are eager to see his collection.
Hey, I'm Bryan Grams.
Nice to meet you in person.
I am Jay Grams. Nice to meet you.
Jay, Bryan, my pleasure.
Well, I came here to see a car. You know which one I came to see.
Tell you what, you guys are here for the day. How about we check out some other cars, and then we'll get to your baby.
I'm not going to say no to looking at more than one.
Fantastic.
The Styles are passionate about keeping the history of these timeless classics alive and have built a world-class collection of Americana.
You know, I've heard the phrase kid in a candy store, but this is really like a candy store.
That is
They're
awesome.
Convertibles, too.
Yes, I do like my cars topless. This is a real deal 71, 340, shaker 4-speed convertible.
Comes to Kuda's the 71. That's the ultimate.
You don't see cars like this every day, and I'm in the business.
The 71 is only the beginning. Bryan Styles shows off two 1970s Barracudas, a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner, and a 1969.5 Super Bee. And in a twist of fate, the two Bryans discover they are connected by yet another vehicular link.
We used to have this one.
This one was in the museum as well.
Yep, it was restored by a guy, his name's Howard Moyse. If I remember right, it was one of one. What are the chances I come down here to visit the Shelby and you got one of my old cars here still?
I'd say the chances are pretty good. When you're dealing with collectors, a lot of times the cars pass through the same hands.
Yeah, that they do.
Especially the good ones.
Bryan is impressed with the immaculate Styles collection, but he only came for one car.
Just like you remember her?
Looks better than what I remember of her. I know you did a full restoration on it since you got it.
We actually did too. We even did single stage paint, put the orange peel back in it, just like they would have done it back at the factory.
I mean, this looks right off the showroom floor. It's amazing.
Not gonna get teary-eyed, are you?
You know, I came around the corner and saw her. I got a little bit emotional. I really missed this car.
Before removing the first bolt, Bryan Styles performed the most extensive research ever done on the car's history. He assembled a dream team of experts and enthusiasts to ensure perfection. After 4 years of hard work, the 0139 vehicle was finally restored back to its original concourse look, appearing just as she did in December of 1966, when the legendary Carroll Shelby first got to enjoy her.
Wow. This thing's detailed to the nines. This is like it left the factory. Autolite battery and the Fomoco hoses, the original smog equipment.
I don't remember that air cleaner on there.
You probably had the Cobra oval air cleaner, right?
Right.
The Cobra air cleaners were a Shelby supplied item later in the production run. Ford was still figuring this stuff out, and what Ford did to complete the orders is they put their air cleaner that would also be used on the Thunderbirds. But you'll notice here at the very front, it looks like something's missing. This is where the Ford Eagle with the checkered flags emblem would have been. But like every reference to Ford or Mustang, they were all deleted off of this car before delivery.
I've never seen that before, so I'm learning today.
And it's funny because when you're working on these cars, you know some of these parts are so rare that it's not how much money you have to buy them. You have to make your case to the keepers of these spare parts, and you have to be like, well, I have this really, really rare car. I can justify the importance. Can I please have this part? Can I please pay you for this part? And that's where some of these things come from, is you have to go to the right people and convince them to let the parts go to certain cars.
Bryan feels the strong connection Mr. Styles has with this car, but decides to test the waters for a potential sale.
The most difficult part of this car was trying to come up with a value because it's one of one. Where would you value this car at today?
I think the proper value is the term priceless. You got to be so happy with what you get from that that you don't miss it.
You can replace the money, but you'll never replace the car.
Well said.
Bryan can see that Mr. Styles will never sell this car, but he knows the Shelby has found a good home.
You got very involved in documenting it, restoring it. Now it's done. Are you ever going to grow bored with this car and let it loose?
We're actually still researching this. I'm leaving in 2 weeks. I'm heading out to Arizona. I'm meeting with another former Shelby employee that may have books, may have paperwork, may have memories. So
This is legwork. This is detective work.
it's just like going out and hunting a car.
Right, right.
Going out and hunting information for special cars is the same reward. Even once all of that research is done, the stewardship continues. I mean, it then becomes an issue of picking the right shows, the right museums to make sure this car is displayed in, and just looking 20 years down the road and setting things up for even when I'm gone.
It is my baby, and there's no better hands for it to be in.
Yeah,
than
it's in the
yours.
best home it could possibly be in.
I'm honored for everything that you contributed to the car, and I'm glad to carry on the torch.
Thank you very much.
Started out with a strange call, turned into meeting a great car guy.
I felt really awkward calling Bryan Styles to come visit this car, but I'm really happy I did.
It was great meeting these guys, and to see their reaction, being reunited with this car again, was very fulfilling.
The boys leave the Styles collection with fond farewells and good memories, but now the pressure is on Jay to make good on this trip and score big with the 34 Ford. It's the Grahams brothers' last day in Florida, and they're on their way to buy a 1934 Ford. Jay thinks the seller has mistakenly listed the car as fiberglass instead of as a real steel-bodied original. If he is right, the profit can exceed $20,000. If he's wrong, the car may not even cover their trip.
Moment of truth. Hey, it's metal. All right. That's awesome.
You doubted my gut feeling.
You're always the practical one, so it's not often you use your gut.
Oh, it was worth traveling 2,000 miles, I guess.
Their timing is perfect. The owner has arrived.
Hi, Jay. Nice to meet you. Salvador.
Hi, how are you?
This is my daughter, Lisette. You like the car?
I love the car. I love the weather, too.
Yeah, the
Beautiful.
weather is perfect.
Sunny day.
So you flew from Illinois to see the car?
Yeah, normally I don't go with him when he looks on cars, but I couldn't pass this up.
Let me show you. It's a 1934 Model B Ford.
Uh-huh.
We really like it.
I heard you say we like it, so which one of you wants to sell it?
He does. Not me.
You don't want to sell it?
Nope.
No, she don't want it, but I think it's time to sell it.
Once made famous by gangsters Bonnie and Clyde, today the 1934 Ford is regarded as one of the original hot rods. Jay is blown away by the 34 Ford's exterior, but is more impressed by what's under the hood.
It's gorgeous. Painted to match the outside of the car.
It's a Chevy motor. As they say, built Ford tough with Chevy stuff.
Yeah, you have a lot of power right here.
But you don't use it very much, huh?
No, not so much. I have a guy that take care of this one. He who walks the car at least every month.
So you are aware it's a steel body Ford, and you're still willing to sell the car.
Yes, I'm gonna sell the car anyway.
Okay.
It's time to go ahead.
Lisette might not like it, but the deal is done. The boys are heading home to Dad with a steel 34 Ford. Back in Illinois, Dad's plane has already been assembled.
Well, looks like another successful week here. That was a great deal you put together with Berlini.
Yeah, we acquired a great collection of cars from the 50s. There's a Chrysler Woody in there. There was a 57 Olds wagon in there. There was a couple Nash wagons, the 57 Roadmaster. My favorite was the 61 Impala that had the Pro Touring treatment. That's going to sell for $80,000.
Got to see my favorite car, which is the 67 Shelby GT convertible, the only one in the world, which was the biggest home run that I've ever had. And by the way, the owner now considers the car priceless.
Priceless, I figured that.
I bought that 34 Ford, and it was my home run. Turned out to be steel, which was a steel, not fiberglass.
You're going to sell that car right away. That's hot merchandise, a steel Ford. You'll have people lined up on that one. Very good.
For over 60 years, the Grahams family has poured endless time and energy into developing the Volo Auto Museum. Cars aren't just cars to them. Cars are the stories that make up their lives. No matter the model or year, people always remember their first car. And those are the types of memories this family likes to explore.
Whether we win or lose, it's another good week for the house. Volo House of Cars.